北京天安门，天安门上太阳升。我爱北京天安门，天安门上太阳升。
So we are now at the second last review for this feature, but this happens to be the last anime we're taking a look at that is based after a game. And it happens to be called Photo Kano, or what it actually translates to is Photo Girlfriend. So this happens to be based after a game with the same name that was only released in Japan, and it was on the PSP. And it was a visual novel slash dating sim, so yeah, there's a good chance of you that are watching this, you probably haven't played it. And if you have, well, cool, but I haven't, so I really can't say anything about it. So I don't know if it's trying to be like the game or not, but whatever, we'll just have to take it as it is. So let's take a look at the story. So our main character in this story is named Kazuya, and he's an average high school student. And out of nowhere, his dad randomly gives him a camera, and obviously you can tell that the camera is made by Canon, but they had to spell it differently just so they won't get sued. So anyways, he's got a really expensive camera, and he wants to take some pictures, but he's not sure what exactly to take pictures of. So he ends up meeting up with his childhood friend named Haruka, who is a part of the tennis team. So they talk about some stuff, and at the end of it she says that, "I'll model for you anytime." But he's not sure how to feel about that, so he kind of just brushes it off. And eventually he ends up getting himself into a situation, and then he ends up meeting up with someone named Kudo. And Kudo happens to be the president of the photography club. And the photography club only has 3 other members, and they happen to be Nakagawa, Azuma, and Yuko. So everyone in there is a guy except for one chick. So they offer him to join just so he can take some erotic pictures, so they can continue the follow of youth. I'm not even kidding, but until someone else interrupts them, and they happen to be Hikari, who happens to be the leader of the photo club. And now you're probably wondering what the hell's the difference between the photo club and the photography club. So the photo club only focuses on landscapes, while the photography club focuses on, well, people, but to be exact, it mostly focuses on girls because everyone there is a fucking pervert. So Hikari wants him to join the photo club, but he ends up taking up the photography club. But oddly enough, she still wants him to visit the photo club every now and then. So what happens after all this is that he's trying to take pictures of girls, but everyone wants him to take pictures of them and doing raunchy things. So some of the other characters I didn't mention yet, like Aki, who is a part of the swim team, and then you got Misaki, who is a part of the softball team, and then there's Sakura, who is a part of the gymnast team. And finally, there is Rina, who is a part of the cooking team. So pretty much he gets along with all these chicks, just trying to get pictures of them, and they're totally okay with it, no questions asked. Just for one example, he tries to get Aki from the swim team to try and do some sexy poses for him, but she says no, but she ends up doing it anyway. Like, what the fuck kind of logic is that? Now I know at one point in the series, it actually branches off. So then at the episodes at that point are pretty much only one episode that focuses on one girl. Then again, this is a show based after a dating game where you have multiple choices, so I guess it does make sense, but I don't know, I'm not feeling it. And that's the plot within this one, it's not a lot to it, and honestly, fuck. Well, I think we might have hit the bottom of the barrel this time, because the story in this one is just complete ass. So before I go on a rant about it, all I have to say is that this show is insidiously boring. So okay, first of all I have to say is that the characters are not interesting whatsoever. Hell, some of them are even fucking irritating. The whole idea of the show really doesn't have a whole point to it. I mean, yeah, he's just trying to take pictures of girls, and then eventually he's just trying to romance with every one of them. But of course on a branch out timeline, but you know, it's still lame as hell. And yes, that means there's a lot of fan service in this show, indeed they are, and boy, let me tell ya. This is a perfect example of an anime that focuses too much on fan service and rather on the actual story. I mean, there's hardly any development. I mean, all it is this, hey, can I take a picture? No, you can't, but oh, let's just do it anyway, because I trust you for no reason whatsoever. Like, what the forkin' wagnalls? Seriously, this show is that fucking stupid. Now you're probably thinking, well, aren't you taking this show a little bit too serious? Now, yes, there's a lot of shows out there that are just trying to be goofy and fun and just don't give a shit whatsoever. But the thing with this is that the show is not even funny at all. And even if you turn your brain off to try and enjoy this one, it will still make you go ape. Because not only is the story in the show just mind-bendingly stupid, but it's also uncreative, dull, boring, and lifeless. Okay, so for the story, bottom line, it's cockular. So now let's move on to the animation, and all I have to say is that, surprisingly, it's actually pretty good animation. Now sure, it may not be like the greatest looking anime I've ever seen, but it at least looks nice for what it is, and well, at least they put effort into it. Now I'm willing to bet you can take a guess what they put the most effort into, and that happened to be the fan service parts, or the chicks, because, you know, they have to make them look purty. But with all the fan service shit aside, at least this show does have some nice backgrounds, so I'll give them some credit for that. But overall, I'd have to say the animation actually isn't too bad, and it's probably the nicest thing I'll say about this one. Now, as for the show's music, well, honestly, the music isn't bad, but it isn't good either, but it's just not very memorable. Honestly, I can't remember a damn thing about it. So that may not be a good thing that you can't even remember it at all, but oh well, we'll just leave it as meh. Now, as for the opening theme song, well, as again, it's not very memorable, but it also isn't terrible or amazing or anything like that. But I really just did not care about it whatsoever. So, as again, we'll just leave it as meh. Now, as for the voice acting, well, I think you know the drill already. It's only in Japanese, therefore can't judge the quality, blah blah. But one thing I can comment on is that a lot of the voices are pretty damn irritating. Now, I can't say if it's good or bad, but I will just say it was just really annoying. Especially that guy with the fucking potato face. Then again, what the fuck would a potato even sound like? Or better yet, a potato speaking Japanese. And no, we're not bringing in Mr. Potato involved in this shit. So overall, for the voice acting, I can't say much other than that it just really annoyed me. So finally, let's talk about the score, and I think this might be possible, but yeah, I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 10. Yeah, we're going there alright, because this show is just so shitular, bitchular, and fuckular that it just blows my mind that something like this is just so shitty. I mean, I didn't have a high expectation for this show, considering how I heard about it was in a top 10 worst list. And I kinda got curious and wanted to add it to the list because, well, I needed some variety here. And also, you never know, the show might have not been as bad as what some people made it out to be. Because every time I watch a new anime, whether it be something that fully interests me or something that doesn't really interest me, I'll still give out an open mind about it. Like, there are 2 animes that I've taken a review of this year that did not fully interest me, such as Chobits and Is This a Zombie, and you know what? I ended up enjoying them. Now, obviously, I didn't say they were like the best anime ever, but they were at least somewhat enjoyable, or at least tolerable. And of course, they were actually funny. Or this is like far removed from fun, or funny, or goofy, or at least it tries to be goofy, but just fails at that. I mean, this show just blows so hard that I can just go on, and I can even go on so much that it would beat you over the head with it, but I won't. Because that's never necessary, and I think you get the idea that, yeah, this show is just fucking awful, and it's definitely, like, the worst anime they ever reviewed. I don't know about the worst anime I've ever seen, but, it's quite possible that it would be in a top 10 somewhere. And funny enough, because this is an anime based after a game, and I'm not even aware of the game whatsoever, but damn, the game better at least be decent, right? Well, either way, after watching this show, I really have no interest in playing it ever, then again, not like I can anyway. Now, I'm willing to bet that there's at least going to be one person who's going to stumble across this video and call me an idiot just because I'm hating something that they liked. Now, by any chance, if there is any people that even like this show whatsoever, well, hey, if you guys happen to like it, then hey, I got no problems with that whatsoever. Watch it all you want, just, you know, don't invite me to it because I'll just leave. Or I could just get drunk and just drink an entire keg. At least that would be fun, but anyways, with that being said, the last words I'm going to say about this anime, and yes, they're going to be harsh, is that fuck this anime, and fuck the people that made it.